Welcome to the classic car enthusiast, particularly Jaguar, E-type Jaguar. I've managed to get the tub connected to the jig. I remember when I finished my E-type, I actually cut off the flanges, so I had to make some new ones. I'll turn it over and I'll show you. What I'll do is I'll pick the camera up. There's a few points I want to show you. There's a few guys interested in the tub being done who haven't got a Jaguar, and some have a Jaguar, an E-type. And maybe for the mini guys out there, hopefully you'll stay with me on it, because I will be jumping from this to the mini to the XKs to the bonnet and so on. So, and you never know, there might be something that you pick up and think, oh, I could use that or adapt it or whatever. I mean, fabrication is fabrication at the end of the day. If I ever get to the point of Nick Blackhurst, I would be very happy, but I doubt it, not in my lifetime. From Bad Obsession Motorsport, I mean, these guys are fantastic. Anyway, the bottom line with this is, the biggest problem with this is now I've dragged it back 1700 kilometres back from the UK. What's happened is because it's in such poor condition, the tub, basically the hull from one end to the other has been completely replaced. But what it's actually done is it's bent the back here, and I'll pick the camera up and I'll show you it exactly. So what I'm going to have to do is I've put these woodwork clamps in it, these sash clamps in it, and they're not needed because it's supported on the front and it's supported here where the IRS goes. What I was trying to do was get it to come back onto this so that this is parallel. This is parallel here, but it's not up against here, and I'll show you when I pick the camera up. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut and relieve it until I can pull it straight. And the reason I want to do that is I have to make sure that I mark these where the reaction plate goes in. This is a plate that goes across the underneath of the gearbox, and it stops the reaction of the monocoque chassis. It's not a chassis, but it's a monocoque construction. But basically it gives it this side-on strength, and these have to be lined up, and we have to mark them here. So I know exactly where to put the floors in. It's fairly obvious where they go, but it's a bed stand reference point, so I use two here and a couple at the back. But I really need this in line to see exactly how far out it is. And strangely enough, no two E-types are exactly the same. There's always some tiny little difference here or there, but you can see that is straight against the bar. Now the guy that made this jig, I bought this off a chap, and I've redesigned a few things, but he did a Series 1 coupe on it, and so it was made obviously for the hulls, because you can imagine these monocoque shells and chassis and everything were made on different jigs, so they don't all fit exactly. There's a few anomalies here and there, but generally it fitted fairly well. I had to just elongate the hull slightly. Anyway, I'll just quickly turn it over, and in fact no, I'll show you first what's going on, so you can see there it's in line, and I'll just pick up that square again and I'll show you. And you can see there, hang on, you can see there it is fairly square. It's not completely. That's because this gap is there. You can see there's a massive gap. This should be right up tight against there, and it's obviously broken the back of it, so I have to relieve it in some way. And as I say, I'll use these sash clamps to just pull it all up into place. And you can see exactly where the problem is. You can see there that's bent, and now if it was bent back the other way it might help, but all of it's quite bad, so I'm going to have to relieve it in such a point that I can get it to go flat again. And yeah, but as you can see there, it's in fairly poor condition. This car went to SPL in England, that does the SPL process. Now he only did obviously the dip-in process and neutralising, well, supposedly, and obviously didn't have anything else done on it, because we wanted to get all the lead off it, and not all the lead, but wanted to get all the rough parts of the lead off and get all the filler and rust out. But you can see actually in there how bad that is. So when this was neutralised, anyway, I think it was just done on the outside with a washer, and it certainly wasn't done on the inside. I mean, all this is coming off, so it's not a problem. But I mean, to me, they should be dipping these into a neutralising solution after it. I mean, to just open that up so you can see it, because you can see how badly that's rusting here. And all the bolts, any bolts that were left in, fortunately these are new, but any bolts that were left in are completely rusted in and seized. And a perfect example of that is these here, every one of them sheared off, and that is going to be an absolute sod. This is the edge bracket. I'll show you. This is the bracket that goes on to support the wing and the centre bonnet piece. Now I'm going to have to actually take that off. What's happened is the acid's gone inside here and it's corroded the back of them. I tried heat, I tried everything, and they just sheared off. So that's going to create a lot of work, because now I have to take this off, all off, to get into the inside of it. You can get your finger on the inside. Anyway, so to go back to this, I'll turn it back over for you. I'll just pop this down and I'll turn it over for you, and you can see it rotated. So put some tape on that. That wouldn't normally be on the doors. Check. Okay, so these doors wouldn't normally be on. But the only reason I've kept them a little bit in line is I wanted to see if we could pull this back, but it looks like that's not going to happen. So, okay, so, and you can see here how I've fitted on. So I had to build this piece today. I just took a bit of box section and then just welded it in here onto here. They're supposed to go onto the frame bracket, but as you can see, the brackets had it. It's just gone. I don't need them as such, because when I put the new brackets on this bulkhead, I'll put the new sections in. I'll do it with the frames. And you can see this needs to come up a bit, but I've built these today, put them in place, welded them all in, and there's a bolt to go through there as well. So that's basically how I fit them. I fit them the same as on the other E-type. On my other E-type I did the same thing, but I took them off to use it, because when the car's painted I want to be able to invert it on the jig. So the next thing we'll do is I'll take these down now, I'll unbolt these and drop it right down to its lowest point, because it fits better and it's not so high, and then I'll take all these other bits and pieces off. So that's how it sits on the jig, and you can see there how it fits on, just goes to where the IRS was, where the V-blocks are. Okay, just to finish off, just want to let you see, I will definitely be doing mini tomorrow because I'm fed up with welding. So just quickly to finish off, this is a system. I got these old bolts from a scrapyard, and I've made legs like that, so they actually are threaded. You can see I've got them in there. So basically, what happens is it will go in like that and gets welded in place, and I just cut the edges off a little bit. I just took 2 bits off one of each end, and then because it won't just quite fit in. You can see there, so, and I'll slot it in and then welded it. And what's basically going to happen is, we're going to run out of time in a few 30 seconds. So basically what's going to happen is they will go in there like that. I'll just pop this in so you can see it. Oh, just to give you an idea. Not quite there, but basically that's what's going to happen. They'll come in line flush. I'll weld these, and then all we have to do is take down the jacks that are on a thread. They'll spin round, and they're basically like outriggers on a crane, and then we can adjust them to wherever we want to make it absolutely level, and that will take all the weight off the wheel, and that will stop any side movement. Anyway, thanks for watching in. I'll do an update tomorrow, so take care. Bye for now. Bye. Take care.